so
That's
much
fucked.
that your body non-stop 100 and is
100?
covered
No,
in
that's
marks,
crazy.
edges,
What is
panic,
going on?
and delusion.
Guys, watch it. The pencil incident.
The pencil incident. Shrooms are a natural psychedelic that cause hallucinations. About 30 minutes after eating them, colors get brighter, patterns start crawling on the walls, time stretches like taffy, and your sense of self begins to melt. Your brain is rushed into a state of euphoria, leaving you questioning what's real and what's not. But what happens when you take too much? On a calm Saturday afternoon, a 21-year-old Hispanic man would return home from work and consume an unspecified quantity of shrooms. Shortly after
cool guy, what's up,
consumption,
man?
he started experiencing a bad trip and begun acting erratically upon arriving to his house. His stepfather and brother would step in and restrain him to try to calm him down,
Fuck that.
but he'd break free of their grasp and also break a glass vase in the process. In his frenzied
You know,
state,
that's the point
he'd then
actually.
begin to
I don't think we're able to like harness all our power. I think the human body has a lot of power, and you can't do it without drugs.
rub himself against the glass shards on the floor and severely injure
I
his
think if you
arms
take
and
the
legs.
right amount of drugs,
His brother
you
and
can,
stepfather
go
would
crazy.
successfully intervene to
So
stop
let's
him
get
from
done with that video for your YouTube channel. Yo, send it in, man. We'll give it a watch if you're done. Once you post it, let me know. What's the video
injuring
about?
himself any further with the
Drugs
glass
do
shards.
crazy
and he'd
things.
be
I
sat
think it
down at a
unlocks
desk.
like
But
unlocks some
shockingly
like
enough,
sides.
in a horrific act,
I don't know.
he'd take a number 2 pencil that was laying on the desk, stand it upright, and repeatedly smash his head on the sharpened pencil. When he
Marble
raised his
racing.
head, he'd
Oh
reveal
shit,
that
yeah, I
he
forgot.
jabbed the
You told me
pencil
about that.
repeatedly into both of his eye sockets. He
4 hours.
would stand up again to do something else, but quickly vomited on himself, leaving his family in a state of total panic. Emergency services were called, where they tried desperately to save the young man's life, but unfortunately, they would only get so far. Shrooms are one of the least toxic substances in the world. You'd need to eat dozens or even hundreds of grams to fatally overdose. But that doesn't mean people can't die from it. Most
What are we watching? The video's called What Dying on Every Drug Feels Like. And Miso just sent this in. American shocked by Tesco meal deals.
I'll be tasting that.
Watch after. Watch after.
fatalities come from behavioral toxicity, panicking, jumping out windows, walking into traffic, or doing something fatal during a full-blown psychotic break. You won't pass away from the drug itself. You'll pass away
What
from
could you
what
be
it does to your mind.
shocked about?
The Gator incident. Now let's talk about meth. When it hits, you feel invincible. This substance cranks up your sympathetic nervous system and causes an explosive release of dopamine in your body. Your heart starts racing, you become laser focused, and you'll be filled with unstoppable energy. The high can last 8 to 16 hours. No sleep, no food.
What's the
just
difference between like
intense
meth
stimulation.
and crystal meth?
And when you take too
that
much,
the same
your
thing?
body turns into an absolute war zone. On May 26th in Orlando, Florida, concerned bystanders
Classic.
would phone a call
Has
to
to be
police
Floridians.
officers to let them know
Is
that
it
there
okay
was
if
a
you
man
react to my video later? Leave some feedback on. Yeah, of course, man. I'll give it a view.
on a racetrack
Just a
shaking
different form.
violently,
Is it like
asking
pure?
to see his son. When police arrived, he was nowhere to be found until suddenly he was located in a lake full of alligators. Officers
Oh,
would try
you
to
mean
throw
like-
the man a
Like it's not liquid, it's crystal.
life vest, but he'd refuse it
Understand.
and would start getting attacked by the alligators in the water. And to officers' surprise, like it was a scene straight out of a horror movie, the man actually resurfaced out of the lake, covered in severe injuries and carrying gardening shears. He would charge at the officers in their car, and in response, they would tase him repeatedly, but it would have absolutely no effect. It was only when the man jumped into the passenger seat of the police cruiser and tried reaching for a rifle in the vehicle that officers finally used lethal force. Meth hijacks your brain's reward system and sends your body into overdrive. It burns out your dopamine center and disrupts your central nervous system so
That's
much
fucked.
that your body both loses touch with reality and can no longer
There's a
regulate
body
its
kit.
temperature.
Nah, fuck that.
Your organs can literally cook from the inside out and cause
Oof.
you to collapse. You can have a heart attack, or you could simply just go on a rampage and meet an early demise like this man. The 108th
What did it say?
incident. On a rampage and meet an early demise like this man.
Florida man who swam in a gator-infested lake. Wow, 42 years old, and he just kind of took too much drugs. How'd that go back? Oh fuck, there you go.
The 108th incident. Weed is by far one of the most commonly used
Weed.
substances in the United States. Within minutes of smoking, you're relaxed.
You can die from
Music
weed.
sounds better, jokes are funnier, and you get really, really hungry.
I
You
I
might
think
feel
weed
euphoric or anxious.
weed is
or
a really
both.
bad drug.
It depends on
Yeah,
the
I think
strain,
it
your
makes you-
mood, and your brain chemistry. So what happens when you smoke too
You
much
lose
of
a
it?
lot of motivation. It's a really
Here's the
bad drug.
truth. You can't die from THC toxicity alone. There's no known lethal dose in humans. You'd have to smoke thousands of joints in a short time to even come close. But that doesn't mean weed is harmless. In the spring of 2018 in California, a woman who had just befriended a man at a dog park she frequently visited would follow him home to his apartment for a quick spark-up session, which, mind you, is totally legal in the state of California. After the two finished lighting up grass through a bong, the woman would unexpectedly shoot up from her seat straight to the kitchen and grab 3 knives.
Hey,
3.
could you come back with some chips? And maybe some ice cream. And maybe
Okay,
some chicken
3.
Oh,
That's
are you
a-
trying to chop up some salsa? I love salsa.
Jim, I'm not making salsa.
In just the blink of an eye, she would stab the man repeatedly non-stop 108 times. His body would be
100?
covered
No,
in
that's
scratch marks
crazy.
from head to toe, and his face would nearly be entirely carved out. Officers that arrived at the scene would find that she had also stabbed her dog, and shockingly enough, had stabbed herself 40
No.
times, and was still in the process of doing it. They would quickly intervene and try to physically stop her, but it wasn't enough. Officers would tase her 4 times to try to break her psychotic frenzy, but it would be to no avail. In order to get her to stop, one police officer had to swing a baton at her arm 9 times to break it, and finally she would release her grip from the knife. The man unfortunately didn't make it, but surprisingly, the woman did.
I'm sorry.
And
The woman stabbed herself 40 times, broke her arm, and still survived.
Even more
Was it
shockingly,
4 times?
she faced 0 prison time for her action.
How do you even, like, even on weed, how, or on any type of drug, how does your body let you stab yourself?
Because it was proven in
I thought there was like a limit, like a pain limit. That's why you can't bite your fingers off. But I guess like it must block all that in your head.
court that she experienced what is commonly known as cannabis-induced
Nah,
psychosis.
that's like
The woman was very inexperienced when it came to smoking weed, and that potentially played a huge role in why she experienced this rare phenomenon. She was placed on probation for 2 years and was required to do 100 hours of community service. The man's
Really?
family, especially his father, were extremely upset when they heard about this.
2 years.
Understandably so.
It should never have happened. She should have never have been allowed to walk free. She should have done.
2 years
Done
for
some time.
murder.
You know, you had a jury that convicted her, a unanimous conviction, in less than 4 hours, and the judge went completely against all 3 of those entities and just said, "You're free to go."
The stove. YouTube really didn't like the case on
For
for
murder and suicide.
So instead,
What?
we go over this situation where a
Only
26-year-old
2
martial arts fighter and his
Do
sparring
you get-
partner consumed
See if you get caught in the act of suicide but don't commit suicide. Is that, do you get charged for suicide or is it attempted suicide? How is suicide illegal? How are you gonna charge a corpse? That's what I've never understood. How the fuck you
unnatural
get charged?
amount
Wow,
of shrooms while in their apartment.
that's crazy.
Initially, everything was fine, until they became convinced that the world was coming to an end and that the two were fighting a battle of life and death between God and the devil. The two would begin their legendary battle, and finally when the struggle finished, their friend would walk into their
But
apartment room
if you don't
only
die,
to
surely it's not suicide.
find the martial arts fighter standing butt naked in the kitchen cooking his friend's heart and remains in a stove. The victim would be found laying on the couch, missing his face, tongue, and heart. And sadly, the autopsy revealed that he was alive when his chest was ripped open and his heart was taken out.
No, fuck that.
The martial arts fighter wouldn't be as lucky as the woman in our last case. He'd be formally charged and sentenced to 47 years in state prison for what he did to his friend.
Rips out friend's heart, tongue, and please get.
Now, this probably makes the US legal system come off as a little hypocritical, considering that in the other case the woman was allowed to blame psychosis for her actions and be cleared of any severe wrongdoing, whereas in this case, the fighter's state of influence was ignored and he was directly sentenced. But honestly, that's your opinion to make. When it comes to overdosing on psilocybin, you'll find that it rarely ever ends you through toxicity alone. You'll need to eat an absurd amount for that to actually happen.
What is the justice
The real danger
system
is
in America?
psychosis,
What is
panic,
going on?
and delusion. Once you compromise the healthiness and security of your mind for a quick burst of excitement, you'll find that that's where things go haywire. So in other words,
Is that real?
don't do drugs. Have a happy day.
How can you charge someone who done probably this, if not worse, but equal crime? You charge them for 2 years, and then you give the other guy 40. Tell me why. The fuck is that all about? Yo, America, sort your shit.